This is the Jack Murphy Podcast. Here's your host, Jack Murphy.
Welcome back to the Jack Murphy Podcast. A little different podcast for us today. No joking around. Just about everything we're going to talk about today is of a serious nature. And today with me on the program, I have my partner in another YouTube channel called History City, where we do a lot of historical documentaries and talk about things in history that we find fascinating because we're both nerds. But he is a much bigger nerd than I. This is Jase Mayhugh, and Jase is a teacher, researcher, historian, and he's really interested in things that he takes a really deep dive into. And recently he got with me and said, hey, you know, they're getting ready to dump all these JFK assassination documents. I think we should do a new docuseries. And I said, hey, great. You know, I'm into that. And how old are you, Jase?
I'm 37.
I am 67. And I was 5 years old the day that John F. Kennedy was assassinated. And I remember it like it was yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, I was in kindergarten, and in Forest Park, Georgia, my mother and father were both working. And a typical day at the kindergarten, we'd have a bologna sandwich. They would put some rubber mats on the floor, and we'd all lay down and take a nap. There were about 30 of us kids in there. And I don't remember anything about kindergarten other than that day, the bologna sandwich and laying down for the nap. And suddenly, during the middle of the nap, all these parents started showing up, including my mom. And they started picking up their kids and taking them home. And my mother was crying uncontrollably, and I had no idea why. And so by the time we got home, a few minutes later, my dad got there, and they flip on the television set, and Walter Cronkite, I think it was on television talking about the assassination of Kennedy and that he, in fact, had been killed. And, of course, they were replaying the grainy video over and over and over, and my parents were both just terribly distraught. And I'm 5 years old, and I didn't know anything about politics. I didn't know anything about JFK. Even at that age, I already loved America. And I remember this is going to sound so weird, but I had a little, like a little floaty, you know, that you would use in the pool. And I was down on the floor playing like I was paddling to help the president and give him a shot so he would get better. And that's my memory of that day. And then, of course, since then, it's been, why are they covering this up?
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't until I was probably in my 20s that I really began to think about that, you know, this is strange that this happened, how it happened, and a lot of questions formulated. And then when they, after all the years, they refused to release the documents. And when was the big dump of documents before this latest one, 2017?
There's been several, but yeah, 2017 is the most recent one before this one.
So they released these documents, and you look at them and you go, you can't tell crap because they're so heavily redacted. And it's not like the Kevin Costner astronaut movie where the Hidden Heroes or whatever the name is, where the black lady holds it up to the light, and that's how she came up with the name Gemini. I mean, you can't see anything. So tell us about this latest dump of documents, and you know, are they as heavily redacted as the others, or what were you able to determine?
Okay, well, first, before we begin, I need to wish my wife a happy anniversary.
Oh, good
I didn't
for you.
get her anything, so this is going to have to work.
Wow.
But she's okay. She's in Hawaii right now without me.
Oh, okay.
So that's, I guess, she can enjoy Hawaii for our anniversary. 11 years.
Okay, good for you. Congratulations.
All right. Thanks. So the document dumps. 2017 had a lot of the redacted ones in them, and then the ones that came out this year were, I would describe as they unredacted stuff, but it seems like they also threw in more crap.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of just filler. Thousands and thousands of documents that have nothing to do with anything.
Really?
Which I thought was kind of coordinated, was let's overload the documents with everything related to Kennedy or the Cold War that we could, So that way people will take time to sort it off. Things will get lost in the shuffle.
People get bored.
I think there's a... What's
give
up?
I said people get bored and give up.
But there's people that have dedicated their lives to researching the Kennedy assassination.
Right.
There's that much... Yeah, and one of the key names for that is Jefferson Morley. He's an absolute genius with this stuff. He is the walking reference for it. And he describes it as, when you look through these documents, is look for a fact pattern. You're not going to get a smoking gun, right. And we didn't get a smoking gun this year. But what we did get was a new layer of information that puts everything else into context. So,
as I was doing the narration for the script, which you wrote, and it's a great script, by the way, I would read it and I'd go, "Are you kidding me?" Mm-hmm. Because some of the stuff that we were told was fabricated at best, was a conspiracy to cover up things at best. But it kind of reminded me of a big legal case where you have a giant law firm that is involved in litigation with a tiny firm, and they just steamroll them with paperwork. They hit them with motions and discovery, and when they ordered the discovery, trucks start bringing boxes of documents, and they have 3 people in the firm to go through it all. But give us the highlights of what you think is in the document dump.
Okay. So the biggest thing in the documents is the CIA's knowledge of Oswalt. They knew exactly who he was. Mm-hmm. They were watching him, and they had contact with him. But all those threads are loosely tied together through just a few people. So it's very loose, but they had knowledge of him.
And all those people are dead now, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Listen, think about it. I'm 67, so it was 62 years ago when all this happened. I mean, you would think that everybody connected with it's dead.
So I wouldn't buy remember that for years they said, since 2017, is that there's still either ongoing operations with the Kennedy documents. Exactly. And the other thing is that there's still assets or things pointing in the documents that would still involve. None of that's there. Like, I didn't find any of that there whatsoever.
That's a joke, because all the people in Cuba are dead. All the people in the Soviet Union are dead. The intelligence apparatus is dead. They have brand new ways of collecting information that they didn't use back then. So none of that makes any sense.
So the closest thing we can say as far as like that makes sense for that is that some of these people whose names pop up in the documents, their children are still alive, and they have made it very clear they want nothing to do with any of this.
Well, so that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. This is an issue that concerns every American. And so if it hurts their feelings, I'm sorry, but we deserve to know the truth. And it looks more and more to me like the truth is our own government and maybe the military-industrial complex had something to do with this. What do you think?
I mean, you can put theories around that, but I would say, as far as the evidence pointing to something, it looks to me like it's either one, just incompetence, or they didn't care what was going to happen. Like
you mean incompetence as far as protecting the presidents, like it was with Trump recently, or they didn't care if somebody killed him?
I had always wondered. I would say didn't care, because I had always wondered if it's not that you can say that the CIA killed Kennedy, but did somebody? It's a difference from did somebody at the CIA have something to do with this and went rogue? Mm-hmm. That's kind of the overarching thing here. And
or did they set up a scenario where it would be real easy to get somebody to kill him?
Yeah, basically get a wind-up toy and send him out in the world.
Right, and that's what you think Lee Harvey Oswalt was.
I don't want to call him a patsy, but he is not.
But he was a patsy.
He was a patsy, yeah.
What these initials that you use? What was it? DRE or what was it?
For what?
These organizations that you were talking about, the organization in New Orleans, what was it called? He would in the script. It was Oswalt was connected with some group down in Miami, and was it DRE?
That sounds right. There's something about this communism, like a
yeah.
And
then he was connected with one in New Orleans, But there was also a CIA agent that was involved in those groups who would have known all about him as well.
All those organizations loosely have ties back to the CIA. Yeah. So that's what's kind of crazy about that.
It's just, as I read the script, it was just fascinating to me that this could happen. Now, there's a Mexico City connection in that Oswalt was in Mexico City and visited, the CIA says, the Cuban and the Soviet embassies, but there was also a possible doppelganger, somebody who looked like him that came and went down there that could have been a CIA plant.
Yeah, so do you know that famous photo of Lee Harvey Oswalt holding the gun in his backyard?
Yes.
There's like 3 different versions of that.
Really?
Or maybe 2, where one looks like Oswalt, and there's another one that doesn't look like Oswalt. And it almost looks like they either swapped out Oswalt to fit the gun they found on site, or something kooky with it.
Well, the whole thing about Oswalt, when you think about it, is how does somebody who he didn't work, right? He had trouble holding it. Yeah, he had a hard time holding a job. He had a family. How does a guy like that travel all over the place, to Mexico City, to New Orleans, to Miami? How does he go all these places and do all these things without somebody backing him monetarily and handling him?
So he did work for the Marines, and I know he had some family help when it came to his movements, but you're right, it costs a lot of money. Even today, I wanted to travel to the Soviet or Russia, it would cost a lot of money. So there's nothing in the documents that shows how he operated in the world. Like, it's really strange. Like, how did he pay to go to Mexico City? How did he pay for all this stuff?
How did he get there? What did he fly on? What flight was he on? All those things. None of that's been released. I mean, it just seems to me that after 65 years, everybody involved is dead. There can't be any possible intelligence that's still accurate. It makes it look like the government is covering up for itself, is what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a fact pattern. It's something's going on here. There's a bigger story at play, and people deserve to know the truth.
And then the other thing that really makes you think he was a patsy was Jack Ruby. I mean, how do you explain that guy? Here's a guy who was he owned strip clubs in Dallas. He was a known mafia associate that was in Dallas, so he was a criminal, and so probably not the most patriotic guy in the whole world, duh, and a criminal, duh, and somehow he's in the garage when they bring Oswalt out, and just steps up and unloads and shoots him, knowing he's going to be caught immediately. He's going to be either shot or caught immediately. Why would somebody in their right mind do that?
I know the official story is that Ruby was so impassioned by the Kennedy assassination that he went and shot Oswalt in front of all the cops and threw his life away, and just that there's more mystery there. I don't even know what to say about Jack Ruby, because he died too shortly after. I don't think he was alive within a decade.
No, he died quickly, and what I would say, the first thing I thought is that if the mafia was involved, or if the government wanted to get the mafia involved to help with the cover-up, is they found another patsy. And they told him, you either do this or your whole family dies or your children die. That's the only way you get somebody to do something like that, unless they're some sort of terrorist or something.
Yeah, it's still, the Ruby stuff is a little harder to tie, because there's not much in the documents about him, because it mostly, the documents are CIA based. Yeah. It's CIA was looking at this, CIA was looking at that.
But that's another question. How could he not be part of the bigger investigation, more, in a bigger way?
Because I don't know, the Warren Commission.
I mean, he killed the most important witness right after the crime occurred.
Right. So, but he did the Warren Commission a huge favor by getting rid of Oswalt. So they probably didn't care to look into him at all.
Right.
And don't get me started on the Warren Commission. That's all.
I've read a lot about the Warren Commission and what a joke it is. And anybody that believes the Warren Commission, you'll believe anything. Well, it's a crazy story, and again, the script you wrote for it is really, really good. And now he's putting together the video, which is a very complicated process. When will the JFK assassination docuseries be airing on History City?
So my goal is to still have it out by August 15th.
All right, August 15th is what we're looking at. Well, I'm looking forward. I've read the script and know what the script says, but I'm really looking forward to it with all the video and other things that you put into it. Now, there's another big conspiracy that's going on, which you may or may not know about. And it's this UFO that's screaming toward Earth. Are you up on the UFO?
Yeah. I would like to get a look at it myself. But, yeah, what do you got?
You mean, well, what do you mean? You'd like to be out there in space getting a look at?
Well, it's one of those things I want to see with my own eyes before I believe that there's an alien spacecraft headed to Earth.
There are, they've got this new observatory. Is it in Peru or Chile? But it's the world's largest digital camera. Mm-hmm. And they have discovered more asteroids since they turned that thing on than they have in history. I mean, it's just amazing. They find them every day. The thing about this one is that it's moving in a really crazy trajectory at an unbelievable rate of speed, and it's the second one of this nature that we've had within a few years. Now, there's a astronomer at Harvard. His name is Avi Loeb. And so you think, okay, he's head of the astronomy department at Harvard. He obviously knows his stuff. But he also writes books, and he gives a lot of speeches. And so a lot of people that I talk to about this say, he's just trying to sell books. He's trying to sell tickets for his appearances. But he said something a few days ago that really got my attention. He said that there was about a 20,000 to 1 chance of this thing being a naturally occurring object. Now, that's based on all their astronomical observations of the past, that they've never seen an object behave like this one is. Apparently, it's in what he called a hostile trajectory, meaning it's some sort of orbit that's going to bring it purposely close to Earth. And I don't know what to think about that because I'm not an astronomer or an astrophysicist. I don't know what they are, but there's a guy named Jeremy Corbell. Have you heard of him? Mm-hmm. About 6 months ago, Jeremy Corbell released a video, and this is where social media is going with this, that they're starting to say that the first thing they'll tell, and he said this long before this thing was discovered. Well, let's just listen to what he says.
So UFOs are real, and they've been here a long time, and that's the truth. But the lie is coming. All indications, like all of them, is that lie is going to be that there is a craft slowly making its way to us here on Earth. And that is the lie they're going to want you to believe. It's nuanced, how they explain that, the nature of that threat. But that 100% is the lie you are going to be told.
He's got a bit of a potty mouth. But here's, in all these videos, they never say what the actual event is. In other words, he's saying the lie is that this thing's going to be approaching slowly. The lie about what?
Have you ever heard of I don't know what it's called, like the rollout theory about, like, so obviously you would assume if there was aliens, NASA would have known about it by now, right? They've been watching the skies. There's a theory that when they're ready, they're going to slowly roll this out to the public in little tidbits. So the first one was Mars water, water on Mars. The second one is maybe the disclosure with Grush and the retrieval program, and then the next phase you get a couple little pictures, and then you just slowly.
So you're saying they're gonna it's a series of lies until they say ET's here.
Yeah, to warm up to people on Earth to the idea that we're not alone.
All right, so we have. Here's another famous astrophysicist who is being questioned about this. This is I think he's Japanese, and he's at one of the, I think he's at New York University. You see him on television, YouTube a lot. Let's hear what he has to say.
Haikoku? Or?
Is it, I gotta ask, do you think it's likely that we're seeing a higher intelligence coming from a different part of the universe, or is there a possibility that they may be slipping the bounds of physics or at least dimensions as we understand them today?
Well, it used to be that the burden of proof was on the eyewitness accounts. Martha, I see something in the sky. That's not a burden of proof. Now the burden of proof has shifted. Now the military has to prove that these aren't extraterrestrial. And just remember that a Saturn rocket traveling at tremendous velocities would take 70,000 years just to reach the nearby stars. And these objects apparently can navigate between star systems in less than 70,000 years, which means that there's a technology involved here that is beyond anything that we can feel here on the planet Earth. And so this is not proof. We're still analyzing these photographs, but we need more data. And for those of you out there who want to email us scientists about their sightings, we have a word of advice. The next time you are kidnapped by a flying saucer, for God's sake, steal something. A pen, a pencil, a chip, an alien technology. Steal anything, because there's no law. There's no law against stealing from an extraterrestrial civilization.
Good point. That's a good point. So, I mean, the thing that makes this, this particular thing different is that you have so many scientifically sound people who are saying, hey, this could be the real deal. That's what's scary about this one. And supposedly, this thing is going to be around this November.
That's quick. It's moving quick then.
Oh, it's traveling. Wow. I believe they said they've never, they've never caught an interspace object moving at the speed that this one is.
Can you just imagine that when the aliens come here and they do the whole "take me to your leader"? We got to take them to Trump.
No, well, that's going to be awesome. Trump will go, welcome. Let's cut a deal.
Look at my new ballroom.
Have you seen? Have you seen what I've done? Don't go to Canada. They're losers. We could have met with anybody from outer space, but we chose you. Thank you. I want you to hear this.
This is massive news. Just spoken with Harvard professor Harvey Oswalt about this interstellar object, 3I Atlas. He's done a research paper and with a couple of colleagues, and they are saying basically the trajectory of it is such that it could be planning an attack on Earth around November, December. This is massive. The science, the data is there. It's got a very low trajectory, which makes it easy to basically launch attacks. And as far as we're aware, the only inhabited.
Now that's scary when you hear that it. I mean, I don't know what the trajectory, how that makes it look hostile to plan an attack, but they keep repeating this over and over and over.
Haven't we figured this out though before? That like you just upload a virus and drop a nuke in the middle of it, and
yeah, well, you could, but then you've got to get what's his name, the actor, to fly the plane up there and do that, and he's dead now. So Dennis Quaid's brother.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Will Smith.
No,
he's the one that actually flew it up there.
No, Dennis Quaid's brother, Randy Quaid, right. He killed himself by flying the F-16 in the first one. He flew.
That's right. Yeah.
He flew the F-16 up there, and then in the second one, the president did, right? Remember the president was in a coma, and when the mothership
watched
started
the
coming, he
second
woke
one.
up.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
It was so bad I can't remember it.
It was absolutely terrible. And then there's another guy who says that he doesn't know what's going to happen, but he keeps hearing that there's going to be an event in 2027. So I'm all confused about it. Is it going to happen in November, or is it going to happen in 2027? And why is it that they're always able to tell us that, oh boy, in 2032 in June, we're going to really dodge a bullet. There's going to be an object that's going to come within 300,000 miles of Earth. But this one, which is going to come by in November, they don't know what it's going to do. That to me, that's a little concerning.
Yeah. You ever watch Y-Files on YouTube?
No.
Okay, so they're a really good YouTube channel to dive into the...
Not better than the Jack Murphy podcast or the History City, though, right?
On aliens, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, we're not big on aliens, but anyway.
Well, we should start doing stuff on aliens. I would be open to it.
Okay, I'm into it. I mean,
All right.
I personally, here's my thing about it. I believe in God passionately, and if you look at the size and scope of the universe, and He is an all-powerful, all-knowing being. If He had worlds in every galaxy out there with people on them, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think if that's true, He set it up so we can never meet each other.
Just the distance is too far away?
Until the end of time, yeah. I mean, it's just too far. I mean, they're looking at things in the galaxy now with this new camera that they're looking at, and they're going... Some of them are saying, we think that's the beginning of the universe again we're looking at. Try to wrap your mind around that, and then they say, no, that's a whole different universe that we're seeing.
The theory for ages was the Big Bang Theory, that everything is expanding out.
Yeah,
and I think the James Webb Telescope is even throwing that off.
Yeah, because they have objects that are moving faster than the speed of light.
Yeah.
The universe is expanding faster than the speed of light. But with this new camera, they're looking out there at these objects, and they're going, that's not a galaxy. That's the start of a new universe. And so, then you say, what if there's a whole bunch of universes that He created? Because the older I get and the more I see of space, the fact that there are such smart people as these astrophysicists and astronomers who believe that this universe started all by itself, just it came into existence all by itself. I find that preposterous. I mean, to me, I just go, how can people so smart even begin to think that?
Do you know the Fermi paradox?
The one about how many populations there should be across? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now they're saying that's probably not right either.
Yeah, if I had to assume, obviously I'm a lot younger than you, I would assume within the next 20 years we'll probably have this figured out. One way or the other.
Well, they've been telling me since I was about 10 we'd have flying cars within a couple of years too. So we're just now getting those. So you might want to revise that estimate. I don't know that we'll have it figured out that quickly because, listen, these telescopes that they're making now, particularly this giant digital camera one, I mean, they're seeing... They've about reached the limits of what they can see. I mean, they're looking billions of light years away, and looking at objects. And I don't know how much farther they can look than they are now. So I don't know what they're going to learn. But I just have a feeling in my soul, my gut, that we are approaching something. I don't know what it is, but it just seems like. It seems like creation is groaning, which is what the good book says will be happening at the end, that people will be traveling to and fro, knowledge will be abundant, and you think about the internet and artificial intelligence and...
I got a question. Is there anything in the Bible about like life outside the planet or anything like that?
Just in heaven. Just in heaven and in hell, but the heavenly realms. I mean, there's different levels of heaven, but those are not physical beings; they're spiritual beings. according to the Bible. And so, no, there's no talk about that in the Bible anywhere.
No.
So
Life's great mystery.
It is, and we'll all discover the mystery someday. The key is don't get left behind. That's what I always tell my friend John Garrett. So, all right, so what we've learned here today, you think JFK's assassination was committed by more than one person?
Yes.
Lee Harvey Oswalt did not act alone.
Willingly or unwillingly did not act alone.
Was a patsy.
Yes.
And it was a cover-up, and our own government may have been involved.
Yes. Well, they were involved.
They were involved.
With the cover-up.
That's what you need to watch, the documentary on History City. It'll be out, we hope, the 15th of August. And we're going to continue to cover this UFO thing, and I'm open, Jase, to doing some alien UFO stuff with you.
Okay, if you can think of something singular to focus on, when I'm done with JFK, I'll start.
Not like I know any aliens personally or anything. No. I haven't seen any spaceships. I mean,
or what about like a contact story or?
I've never had any. I've never been probed anally or otherwise by any aliens. Thank goodness. But there are a lot of people out there who claim to have been.
That didn't steal anything. So
no, they didn't steal any pencils or pens or anything or whatever. Well, anyway, Jase Mayhugh, who is the writer and creator and my partner in History City, thank you for being with us today. Look forward to the JFK documentary. And for those of you watching, like and subscribe to the Jack Murphy podcast and History City on YouTube. There it is. There's the logo for it. You'll find it on YouTube. We had some imposters for a minute. Have we taken care of those? Those pesky.
It's going to be a work in progress.
Right,
one of them doesn't have contact information put up.
We had some people actually copy the name of our channel, and when you searched us, we've been there for a long time, the other phonies were coming up, so we're trying to get rid of them. But anyway, like and subscribe, and I hope you all have a great weekend. We'll be back with a brand new podcast Monday here on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Thanks for watching the Jack Murphy Podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Go ahead, ring it. Get alerts when a new episode drops, and tell your friends about the Jack Murphy Podcast. But only the cool friends, please. Tune in next time for another episode of the Jack Murphy Podcast.